Welcome to the Labutu Show! I'm NAYLI, your MC for today. So, today we are investigating the invisible walls of the modern corporate world. We often talk about the gender gap in pay and leadership, but we rarely discuss the language that perpetuates these gaps.
Hi, I'm AISYAH, your MC for today. As well. That's right, NAYLI. While many organizations today claim to support gender equality, sociolinguistic research suggests that gender bias still lurks in the shadows of professional documents like job ads, CVs, and recommendations letters.
What is linguistic sexism? Have you ever thought about how the words we use can shape our views on gender? Linguistic sexism is a fascinating topic that dives into this very idea. It refers to how language can reflect and reinforce gender inequalities, often favoring one gender, typically male, over others. This can happen in various ways, and understanding it is essential for promoting gender equality and social justice. One common example of linguistic sexism is the use of gender-specific pronouns or terms when the information applies to everyone. For instance, saying, "Every student should have his notebook," assumes a male default. This choice of words can invisibilize others, making it seem like only males are included. Another area where linguistic sexism appears is in job titles. Words like fireman or policeman imply that these roles belong to men, even though people of any gender can perform these jobs. This reinforces the idea that certain professions are gendered, which can limit opportunities for women and gender minorities. Marked language is another form of linguistic sexism. In this case, the male form is often seen as the default, while the female form is marked or differentiated. For example, we say actor for a male performer but often use actress for a female performer. This distinction can make women seem like exceptions rather than equals in their fields. Expressions and idioms also play a role in linguistic sexism. Phrases like man up or grow a pair link strength and courage with masculinity. This can subtly suggest that being feminine is weak or inferior, perpetuating harmful stereotypes about gender roles. Additionally, titles that focus on a woman's marital status, such as Miss or Mrs., contrast with men's titles, which do not change. This practice can imply that a woman's social value is tied to her relationship with men, which is an outdated notion. Understanding linguistic sexism is vital because language shapes how we perceive social roles and identities. When language consistently privileges male experiences, it maintains unequal power dynamics between genders. From a feminist perspective, addressing linguistic sexism is a step toward achieving gender equality and social justice. Feminist philosophy of language critiques these biased uses of language and advocates for more inclusive ways of speaking. This includes using gender-neutral pronouns like they when gender is unknown or irrelevant. Choosing gender-neutral job titles, such as firefighter instead of fireman, is another way to combat linguistic sexism. Avoiding expressions that reinforce harmful stereotypes is also essential. Recognizing how language can diminish the presence and contributions of women and gender minorities is crucial in this effort. In practical terms, reducing linguistic sexism requires conscious efforts in education, media, workplace communication, and everyday conversations. By using language that respects all genders equally, we can create a more inclusive environment. In this space, gender does not limit or define a person's identity or capabilities. Understanding and addressing linguistic sexism is a vital part of the journey toward equality and social justice for all.
It's a concept called hidden sexism. It's not about shouting insults, it's about the subtle words we choose to describe leadership, competence, and authority. For example, why is a man determined while a woman is helpful?
To understand the weight of these words, we have conducted the three-part investigation. We will be looking at the linguistic cycle of employment, the daily microsexism of the office, and finally, how we can actually fix the system.
So, let's go to our first occasion, Aisha. You will be catching up with a leading researcher in the field of discourse. Who do we have first? Boom.
Hi, now I'm here outside of our first researcher's office. Let's go. Hi, now I'm here with Dr. Stroy. Doctor, your 2019 study Gender Bias Language of the Workplace made some waves. You mentioned that back in 2018, women had only 34% of global managerial roles. How does language contribute to that gap?
Okay, it's about the linguistic cycle. We analyzed like 80 professional profiles, found a statistically significant difference in how genders are described. Men are frequently labeled with agentic language, words that imply leadership, confidence, and also achievement.
Oh, and for female candidates?
For female candidates, they are pushed toward communal traits. In my research, women were often described as kind, nurturing, or helpful. And why these are positive traits? They aren't traditionally associated with high status leadership in the corporate world.
So even the job apps at themselves act as a barrier.
Exactly. Email dominated fields like engineering or programming, job ads often use masculine coded words like uh, boost or determine. This discourages women from even applying because the language signals they might not fit the culture.
Hmm. Thank you, Dr. Stroy. Hi. Now we are joined by Mark Peters, who has investigated how this bias live in our daily routines. Okay, Mark, you have argued that we have moved past neanderthalic behavior, but sexism hasn't disappeared. It is just become subtle.
Hmm. Precisely, it's what I call gender proper language. Think about performance review. My research found that women often receive feedback based on their personality, while men receive their feedback clear and actionable advice on job skill.
That sounds incredibly frustrating for a woman trying to get promoted.
Um, it creates a box that is hard to break out of. Even our office slangs like wingman or gentleman agreements creates a man cave atmosphere rather than a neutral professional space. Even a common startup phrase like two guys in a garage reinforce uh, the idea that business is a male domain.
So you suggest that our future generations will look back on some of our current phrases, bunkers, much like we do with the term lady secretary today?
I do. We need to be more intentional, replacing gender terms with inclusive ones like faults. It's a simple but powerful start.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mark. Bye.
Hi.
Finally, we are looking at solutions. I am here with our last interviewee. Here with me, ATHIRAH in the room. Many people say it's just words. Why does it matter? But recent data says otherwise.
I think, in my opinion, it matters because it also impacts the bottom line. And research made by He and Kang in 2025 has shown that when you take masculine language out of job postings, the application rates for women and underrepresented groups go up significantly.
So it is just about HR fixing their templates.
Is it about HR fixing the templates? No, it's actually deeper than that. As Wang 2023 highlighted that language reflects deep-seated social norms. To achieve this true diversity, we don't just need a policy change, we also need a reform of our professional vocabulary. We need to train managers to recognize when they are giving personality-based feedback instead of skill-based feedback. That's it from me.
Okay. Thank you, ATHIRAH. Bye.
It's clear that language isn't just a tool for communication, but it's actually a tool for shaping how we understand authority and its leadership.
I agree with our writers today. This article shows that true equality can't be reached through rules alone. It requires us to be intentional about every word we speak and write in the office.
To all viewers at home, especially those in human resources, take a look at your next job ad. Is it inviting talent or is it subtly closing the door?
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into social linguistics. If you're an employer, take a second look at your job descriptions today. You might be surprised by what you find.
I'm NAYLI.
And this is Aisyah.
Good night and choose your words wisely. Bye.
I just had to let you know you're